Alright guys, TouchGrubbeer back again today. Hope you're enjoying your Thursday once again so far today, and we're going to talk about Dashy and the potential roster he may be joining in next Call of Duty season. It's been known by the pro players for about a month or so now that it was going to 4v4, and certainly for a player like Dashy, discussions may have been being had behind the scenes as to where his next steps lie, given he's been on the bench of the OpTic Gaming Los Angeles for quite a time, after being considered one of the best, if not the best player throughout the Black Ops 4 season. Modern Warfare didn't go in his favour. The question is, where's he going to end up? Is it going to be on the Chicago Huntsman alongside Scump, Formula and Envoy? That seems to make the most sense right now. We're going to talk about exactly why that is the case in the coming minutes here. Like, if you guys enjoy the video, subscribe if you are new. As always, I would greatly appreciate all that good stuff for the algorithm. Helps the channel grow and helps people discover competitive Call of Duty and keep up with the Rostermania madness, which is going to continue over the coming weeks here. To start with then, this from Waskin. I woke up and thought I was living in a dream. Scraps replies with this, and Waskin says, see you soon. I think this might be like in-person stuff, like maybe they're both going back to the UK. I think Scraps just landed today or something like that. And as he replies with, you know, this has nothing to do with CoD. So as Jed points out to me, so yeah, doesn't look like there's anything to do with CoD. If you saw this chain, then, you know, don't worry about it too much. The scene is yet to be set, really, with Waskin and the London Royal Ravens guys that we talked about in yesterday's video. Clay then comes out with his another day of emotionally tweeting as a grown man. Nah, we keep it moving. Got some things in the works. So Clayster got some things in the works. He's got some team ideas going on behind the scenes, and I'm sure a lot of players have. Ever since the situation went down and they knew it was going to be 4v4, I'm sure a number of players were having discussions. Clayster, of course, was just focused on getting his team to be the best it could possibly be for the World Championship. But the likes of Dashy, sitting on the bench, is probably thinking, okay, where does my next spot lie? Like, well, yeah, where can I move? Can I get up to gaming, please? Because the rumor has it that at the start of the Modern Warfare season, he actually wasn't aware, or something weird went on at the OpTic Gaming squad, that he thought like Scump and Former were potentially going to re-sign for that team. Doesn't happen, and Hector goes and starts the own organization over at Chicago Huntsman. And then, well, Dashy and TJ kind of got stuck on OGLA, and there was the discussion behind the scene that Dashy didn't want to be there, and he would much prefer to go onto the OpTic Game, or go onto the old OpTic Gaming, I suppose, guys, now on the Chicago Huntsman. So will that happen this season? It's certainly possible. We talked about it the other day, that maybe Dashy's looking down this route, and well, it could work as a squad. Maybe it's not perfectly ideal, because Slasher was saying that this season he wanted to be a main AR, Dashy wanted to be a main AR. Now we've got Formal on the squad in a 4v4 setting, in a potential meta that could be 3 SMGs. Who knows what the meta looks like? Yeah, that maybe that wouldn't work out perfectly, but certainly Dashy is one of the most likely candidates to go onto the Chicago Huntsman, that core 3 that we talked about the other day. This is the clip then that Chrono CDL Intel points out of Dashy playing some, well, World War II right here. Kind of a throwback, to be honest, to, well, a great AR he was on that game on the Enigma 6 squad and such. Played with Center, of course, at the time, which is pretty entertaining. So, yeah, well, as he points out, he almost kind of let slip what his team could be, manages not to do it quite about, but yeah, I'll put this clip on screen for you guys to enjoy.
Bro! Because I'm not even going to know what year we're in, so that... They're going to be like... Oh shit, I almost Loki said the team, holy shit. They're going to be like, yo, Brandon won. Any post-game interview, I'm going to be like, I love Big Macs. I was going to say something so funny, but like, I couldn't right there, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I almost slipped that ass, like, twice. We can't talk about next year.
To follow up with then, Parasite also said on stream yesterday, on Sibilant's stream, that every roster is basically set in stone. I'm not exactly sure the validity of this. I mean, like, I imagine a lot of teams have great ideas, a lot of players have great ideas exactly who they want to team with, but there's a lot of hurdles to get these through, even if these ideas are there in theory. And even to me, like, I was just thinking about the Waskin and Scrap situation, seems so uncertain with what's going on there at the London Royal Ravens. They're like, you know, are they absolutely certain what's going on, and do they have an actual team planned already? Even though a couple of days ago they were talking about how the whole squad was being dropped and, you know, trying to figure things out. And, you know, is Clay going to go to the Ravens like was rumored a month ago? I don't know. I doubt, to be honest, that all these rosters are completely set in stone in the players' minds. And even if they are, there's a lot of hurdles to come over from the contract side and from organizations to get salaries sorted and all this kind of stuff. So I'm sure there's going to be a lot of rumors that start to come out over the next couple of weeks. I've heard a few things, but even once rumors do start to come out, there's still plenty of, well, stumbling blocks potentially from organizations on the contract side to get that to work. And who knows, somebody sketches and goes to another team. These kind of things have happened in the past and will probably happen again, but I'll share this clip right now as well.
Listen, man, you want some intel? From what I know, everyone has the roster set, but they are not officialized. So it could change, and, you know, franchise and stuff can say no, and other things in the background. might prevent them from happening, but everyone already has a full-on idea of who they want to play with next year, and they are committed to those rosters as of now.
Yep, and
Boom,
I don't know, Michelle.
Intel bomb.
So we now come to the key question. If Dashy knows what team he's going to go on to, and a lot of these teams are set in stone and have decided who they want to play with next season, because as I say, they've had a month really and a bit to probably think about who they want to play in a 4v4 situation, and now that Champs is over and free agency is about to begin, it's time to get those things set in stone to give yourself the best possible opportunity. This is what Max points out to me. Dashy playing with Formal on the Black Ops 4, so you can see Illy here, Dashy, and Matthew, Formal, Piper. So, is this a possibility? I would say it's certainly one of the most likely of the possibilities that Dashy has at his disposal, and maybe that's not too many, right? Like, clearly a very talented player, but we've heard a number of things this season about his work ethic and his drive, and if anything, he's probably more likely to be picked up by players like the likes of Scump on the OpTic Gaming team in Black Ops 4 that have played with him before and believe that he still can be one of the best players in the entire game, which he certainly can be if he is in the right environment, and clearly he didn't have that this season. So this is, of course, what the Huntsman roster looks like right now. This is how I've split it up. The other day, I looked at Envoy, Formal, and Scump, and I think these core three are absolutely going to stay. I mean, Formal and Scump aren't going anywhere. They talked about how they do plan to team next season anyway, and the Scump retirement tweet that came out yesterday was a fake account, so nothing to worry about. Envoy is certainly going to stay, one of the best SMG players in the entire game, and as I see, it's like kind of Hex's next Scump in a sense, or next face of the organization once Scump moves on. Definitely wants to focus on him. That leaves that as a core three. Then the question is, who joins them as the fourth? Bristini and Gunless, RCDs are all on the squad here. Now, definitely, I talked the other day that these three might try and go together to a different organization. Maybe that's still possible. I've heard some things that maybe RCDs is rumored or linked to a number of different teams as well, so maybe he goes separately. But if he does go separately, I think Bristini certainly also leaves as well, and probably Gunless isn't going to be on this team anymore either due to the kind of conflicts that they had. So it's possible that RCD stays, but I don't think that's incredibly likely. I think that all these three guys in the green and the purple are going to leave the squad, and they're going to get a new fourth into the team, which could well be Dashy. Far from out of the question. It does kind of make sense. Played with Scump, of course, in the past. The role dynamic, of course, is the potential issue here that I am somewhat concerned for the Huntsman that this may not work out. If we do look at a game like Black Ops 4 or World War II, which are relatively recent games, then this team would work great in theory, right? Because you can have two STGs, Formal and Dashy, or you can have, one of them on the bar or something. So, these kind of games where you had two PBSHs, one bar, and then like one STG, that was kind of a decent meta. We had a similar thing, to be honest, in the Black Ops 4 season when we had two Sorgs on a lot of maps, one Maddox. Potentially this was how it could have played if it was a 4v4 game. One Maddox and then, like one ICR or something like that, or even two Maddoxes, whatever it happened to be. Scump can certainly potentially play flex as well. That's not out of the question. If they wanted to get another very talented SMG player, I mean, they could get a guy like Priester, for example, from Atlanta FaZe, who may well be being released off that squad. Maybe FaZe are looking at their squad and they're thinking, damn, we got Simba, BZ, and Celium. That's a great core three. Priest is a fantastic player, but do we want to get in like a leadership figure? Do we want to get in like a Clayster or something like that to the squad? Do we want to get in like an Arcides even to the team and, make it, more well-rounded team, to be honest, because they just lost to Dallas Empire in the grand finals at the World Championships, got absolutely crushed, and they're thinking, wow, if we had a veteran leader on the team, maybe we could have done the same to them because we certainly have the talent to do it. So maybe that then leaves Priester as a free agent in addition to Major Maniac, and Priester is one of the most versatile players in Call of Duty. He could potentially go onto the Huntsman as well. That seems to make sense, and that would allow players to play whatever role they wanted, because Priester would be willing to do whatever and would be willing to fit into any meta. Dashy is not necessarily that type of player. I think he has more upside potential in the fact that if you do get a good meta and you can have Dashy and Formal both on your assault rifles, then you're going to have a deadly squad, right? Like Scump and Envoy on your SMGs, Dashy and Formal on the ARs, that's going to be deadly. However, if the meta doesn't work out like that, and that's the unquestioned, that's the thing in Call of Duty, right? You don't know what it's going to work out like, and when we had Dashy on the MP5 this season, it wasn't really working so well. So certainly some risk, I think, here, but if they do get Dashy, it would make sense. Played with Scump, of course, in the past, and I can definitely see this squad working, but the meta is a potential risk, because at some point in the season, I imagine there is going to be at least some maps in competitive play that are going to have 3 SMGs required, and even if the game starts off as an AR-dominated game, at some point over the course of it, people tend to try and use more SMGs. We've seen that throughout Call of Duty history, really, and maybe there's meta changes that come in halfway through the year. I think that you need your third player to be somewhat versatile versatile. And is Dashy versatile to use both weapons? He certainly can use any AR you throw at him, but with an SMG in hand, it didn't really work out on Modern Warfare this season, and well, you know, for part of those reasons, he was dropped to the bench. Maybe in a squad that he truly believes in, he then can make that work and really work to improve with those other weapons in hand, and maybe Dashy is the perfect fit to this team. We will have to see going forwards. Wanted to finish off the video then with this really wholesome thread, to be honest, between Clayster and Crimsix. I thought this was really like touching and brought a tear to the eye, to be honest, so let's just go through it. For anybody saying anything about the timing, yes, it does suck to be so soon after a huge victory, but I would much rather it be this way where they told me ASAP so I can figure out a new landing place that works. Crimsix says, I love you, man, seriously. I firmly believe that everyone did their part and then some this season. Sunday was one of the best days of my life, followed by one of the worst, and that doesn't even hold a candle to what you're going through right now. No matter who it was who had to step down, it would have been the wrong decision. That is a fact. I despise every single person who essentially forced us to have to make a decision like this. None of us deserved it. None of us deserve to try and find a new home. Kills me thinking about it, and speaking of deserving, there isn't a single player in this league who deserves a tier 1 spot more than you. We agreed we'd play for it at Champs, and no matter what you believe, in my heart I knew that if I didn't step up in the finals, the spot was yours. With how well you were playing, I was thinking on Saturday night, this is my last hurrah, and with these guys, so let's make it count. It didn't matter to me what anyone on Envy thought or what sponsors wanted, and what happened? We played like gods this tournament, a level of teamwork and preparation that has never been seen in Call of Duty before. You are that guy, it will always be that guy for me. I could not ask for a better teammate. I'll never forget what you said to me Sunday night, because it's so goddamn true, and it describes us teaming perfectly. The yin and the yang. Someone's got to get the tissues. Thank you guys for watching the video as always. Like if you enjoyed, subscribe if you are new, and I will see you next time.